So here we are, 4 days into owning the Kubota BX25. It's a 2013 that we bought used. Older gentleman had it, he passed away, so we bought it. We got a good deal on it, but 4 days into it, and as you can see, it's sitting on jack stands. Buddy of mine who has a Kubota, right off the bat, the day we bought it, he said, buy the armor for underneath of it. I was already aware of the hydrostat cooling fan on the front of the transmission. Your drive shaft goes back to the back, right in there, and there's a plastic fan, and it's not covered well. They have a small plate over it, but that plate doesn't prevent anything from hitting that other than something coming straight up out of the ground. And so today I was out, and here's the remainder of the fan. Caught the boot, ripped the CV boot off. This fan is bolted facing, this is the front face, this is the back face. There were fan blades on there, and when the stick went up through there, ripped the boot, cleaned off all the fan blades. So that resulted in me needing to pull the drive shaft. I'm not doing this the way they recommend you do it in the manual, is to like pull the body and do all kind of stuff. So what I did instead was we went to the front, pulled the CV, and pulled the collar off of your drive or your crankshaft right here. Then this shaft comes back over top of this plate back here, pull everything off back here, and there is the front of your hydrostatic unit for the rear axle. So with everything pulled off, you can move the shaft back and forth plenty enough. Now here's the kicker, here's the trick. There's another video, and a guy mentions you could do this way, and he talks about getting access to the bolt. There's a clamp that goes on here, and there's a bolt that goes vertical down through, and I found that I could find that bolt through, let's see here, this gap right here. And this is how a lot of people would get to it. They would remove the floor pan, the entire back fenders, and get to this bolt from here to get that clamp off to remove everything. Well, that sucks. Instead, come down to the 8 o'clock position as you're looking back, and there's a 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter bolt right here on the transmission. There's a hole in the fins for it. Take that bolt out, and you can come in from the side, and you can get to that with a 12 millimeter, and what I use, a universal joint off of a short 12 millimeter, and hopefully I can get it back together from that direction as well. I should be able to. So that eliminates having to pull the engine, move the engine forward, strip the body off of the thing. That's an easier way to go. It took me just about an hour to strip everything and get it all off. So I put it up on jack stands to make it easier to do the work on the thing. But again, here's your fan. Now I've seen some people online have said that they've cut this right straight through the bolt holes and tried to do this without taking much apart, and put 2 halves of the fan back on, tighten the bolts up, and I guess more or less say you hope for the best. The way we did it here, an hour apart, should be about an hour back together to tie that in the front up there. So 2 hours total, and not having to strip the entire body off of the vehicle to do it. So that's the hydrostat cooling fan that is infamous on these BX series Kubotas. We will be going onto the website BXpanded and buying the armor plating for underneath of this, because I really don't want to do it twice. So there you have it.